How y'all doing this evening? Welcome back. We're back here in the kitchen. We're ready to dish up something great for you all this evening. Of course, I got my wonderful friend here, Chef Corey.
What's up, everybody?
Everybody's going to give him a round of applause. Let's not. So we're going to keep moving on now, and we're going to display how to make brochettes. That's the recipe of the evening, and we're going to just simply show you how to make a brochette. We're going to use a dry rub, and we're also going to use a marinade. Corey's going to demonstrate a shrimp brochette with a marinade. I'm going to demonstrate a dry rub using chicken and some button mushrooms or portobello mushrooms. So,
do you want to tell the people what a brochette is?
Well, thank you, Chef Corey, for interrupting me so I can explain to everybody. I memorized my lines. Have you? So, anyways, a brochette is basically, really, to simply put, it's a skewer. But brochette is from the French term broche, which is basically jewelry on a pin. That's where you get the original word from. So it's going to be piercing the food like a spear or a skewer. Or it's similar to the kebab, which is a Turkish word, again, for skewer, or Slovaki in the Greek, again, a term to mean a skewered meat. But it's very important for people to understand when you make a brochette, which is the technique we're going to use tonight and describe tonight, it's always used with a dry cooking method. Dry cooking method would be either grilling it, searing it, roasting it, broiling it, but you would not braise it and you would not boil it or steam it. That's not the reason, that's not how you would cook a brochette or a skewered meat. So we'd always use a dry cooking method. Corey is going to actually use a flat top skillet that we have in Linda's wonderful kitchen here. We certainly thank Linda for letting us have her kitchen tonight. And I'm going to be using the oven. I'm going to be baking mine, the chicken skewer. Before we get into any of that, Corey and I have another contest. We are going to compete, as we always do, just to make him feel good. I always let him win. I got to make him feel good. What we're going to do is, and what we want to try to explain is, sometimes when you go through your cupboards, you go into your refrigerator, you're looking at your ingredients and you're asking yourself, what can I do with this? What can I do with that? And so tonight, Corey and I are going to go through Linda's cupboards and her refrigerator, and we're going to search for 5 ingredients that I would use in a recipe. He's going to search for 5 ingredients that he would use in a recipe. We're going to share with you what we would do, and we want you to decide who came up with the best recipe. So let's go over to the refrigerator real quick. You like that idea, Corey? So I want you to go through. While he goes to the refrigerator, I'm going to go into the dry cupboard here.
Okay.
I got some ideas. So again, we're going to go into the cupboards, and I'm going to look at what she has available, just like you would if you were at your home. So I see some sweet potatoes. Bingo.
Oh, sweet potato?
Vegetable broth. Bingo. Oh, risotto. Bingo. Oh, I already know what I'm doing.
You're not going to gather your...
No, I'm not going to gather it.
Oh, I am.
So go ahead and get your stuff.
I will.
I see, I got some fruit I might want to use. She's got some blueberries. Okay.
That does not go with risotto, FYI.
You never know. We always try to explore. Look at a little sriracha. Who doesn't like a little sriracha? A little spicy? I'm using it first. All right, so here we go. Let's go, Corey. I already have my idea. I already know what I'm doing. So while he's in junior high figuring out what he wants to do, the college PhD graduate here in culinary arts, this is what I would use.
So
you don't want to have your ingredients to have a visual for people?
Yeah, I have a visual for my people.
Who is that, John?
No, it's me.
Oh.
Show a little respect to your queen.
We're good.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and let Corey tell us what he would do.
Well, folks, went through the pantry area and the cooler, found eggs, very easy household item that everyone has.
Okay.
Pepper, onion, some sweet potatoes.
What else you
A little
got?
paprika, and then sriracha. I would do a nice sweet potato hash. I would saute up my onions, peppers,
Okay.
then dice up the sweet potatoes, add a little paprika, poach a couple eggs or fry them over easy because I like that yolk nice and runny. And then finish it off with a little sriracha for some heat. You can omit this if you got taste buds like Chef Steve, who's a baby when it comes to heat. So, but I mean, who doesn't like a nice poached egg sweet potato hash?
I like that. That's a good. Let's give it up for Corey. All right. So he did good. All right. So this is what I would do. I'm gonna just explore, because that's what you want to do in your own kitchen. You're only having 2 or 3 people over, and you're going to talk to them about, hey, listen, I'm exploring. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to just go over the top a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a sweet potato risotto. Then I'm going to take some shrimp, and I'm going to toss it in a lime and blueberry and sriracha sauce. I'm gonna saute it in that, and I'm gonna serve it over my sweet potato risotto. What do y'all think about that? I think that's very good.
I don't see shrimp, and you have more than 5
Well,
ingredients.
I have shrimp, and I got it.
And you've got more than 5 ingredients.
So anyways, I want you real quickly, for 30 seconds, to tell us if you like Corey's recipe or if you like Steve's recipe as we get ready to go into the brochettes. So we need to know.
Kelly Murphy says, can you deliver across the street when you are done? We live across the street from Linda Stewart.
So we just need to know. So as you're deciding if Corey's recipe was better or if Steve's recipe was better, we just want you to let us know, because I need a W this week. That's what I need.
Well, you should have cut blueberries out of your risotto.
No, blueberries is great. A lot of good flavors.
We have Carol Mural says Corey.
Thank you, Carol.
That's family. It's got to be families.
Paula Andrea says, I think we need to taste it.
Fair enough.
Nothing else yet.
All right, so go ahead and talk to your
Talk to the live people.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, what's up, everybody? I already got my shrimp brochettes already pre-marinated, but I'm just gonna walk you through the step for a simple marinade.
John Mirren says neither. I'm calling Domino's.
Who said that?
John.
Mark.
Well, he's got no taste buds from working in Cleveland. So.
Candy Katie says my son looks awesome in red.
That's right. Love you, Mom. So
Stacked again. Go ahead.
all right. So the marinade I'm doing is basically a citrus marinade. So I take a lime, get some zest in there. This is a cheese grater, basically, or a zester. You can get this at your local Bed Bath & Beyond. Little microplane action. Get that going. Get some lime. So, a marinade basically is considered a marinade because you're mixing acid and herbs. It's a good way to season any type of protein. Depending on how much acid you have in your marinade, you can basically marinate your meat depending on the amount of acid. So seafood, for instance, if you have high acid, high vinegar, high citrus amount, you basically don't want to marinate it longer than 30 minutes or else it'll turn into ceviche or it'll cook. Same thing, Chevettes is big in Western New York. Chevettes marinade is heavily acidic in vinegar. If you marinate your chicken in chevettes overnight, it's going to be cooked the next day. So we got lime juice, we got olive oil, we've got some Dijon mustard. We're gonna put in some fresh garlic. Got it? So, and then we got some dill here. Now, Chef Steve actually had this dill in the freezer because he got it a while ago. You can freeze herbs and then pull them out. I would only use frozen herbs though for marinades. Maybe if you're gonna mix up a sauce in a blender or even just a whisk on the stovetop. So get that going, and then we're mixing it. So it's a little too thick, so then all we do is add a little bit more acid. Mix that nice. And then we finish it with salt and some pepper.
You're not going to do the Salt Bay move?
Could do that for the peeps.
And so what you always want to do is you also want to make sure you taste everything before you go and finish the product. So we're going to make sure that Corey's recipe here is on point, right? That's really good.
John said he think I can do better.
We love you, John.
Of course, John can.
We love you, John.
So, and then I got a couple extra shrimp, and I'm just going to walk you through the simple skewering process of the finished ones. So, my kebabs, or bruschettes, or skewers, consist of shrimp, pepper, red pepper, and red onion. John, have
Carol asks, regular salt or kosher salt?
Kosher salt for everything. Everything.
Let me step in for that question, because I'm a diehard kosher, and the reason why I say kosher is because kosher breaks down more evenly on your palate, so it distributes well when you're tasting your food. Iodine salt doesn't break down as easy, so therefore you're not going to get the consistent balance of the salt flavoring that you want in your whatever you're making, sauce, marinade, on your proteins, you're sauteing it with vegetables, whatever it may be. Kosher salt, or you can do sea salt, okay? Those are your better salts to use, because again, they break down evenly, they break down completely, and you'll taste the flavor of your food more evenly because of the kosher salt that you're using. Always use kosher salt. Kosher salt is much better than iodine salt.
So, and then one thing you might notice is the skewers are soaked in water. Why do we soak the skewers in water? So they don't basically light on fire. These skewers shouldn't flare up too much since we're cooking them in the oven for Chef Steve, and I'm doing them on a griddle. But if you put them on a charcoal grill or a propane grill or any type of grill, chances are they will burn and then break on the stovetop, and you don't have a bruschetta. So yeah. That's what I got. Chef Steve?
Awesome. So Corey's going to go ahead and finish his skewers. He's going to actually start cooking them so that he can have something for us to eat when he's all done there. So we're going to move into making a dry rub. Now, the difference between a dry rub and your marinade, of course, is because there won't be any acid in there, right? There will be no citrus. There's also going to be typically dry herbs. We won't use fresh herbs. So I'm going to do a quick dry rub. That's going to be simple for you to follow. The recipe that we're using, it's all on my Facebook page. It's uploaded there, so if you want to go ahead and visit my page and write down the recipe or print it out, you're more than welcome to do it, and you can just have it there. It's very, very basic, but what we're doing is we're going to take brown sugar, which I have right here, for my sweetener, right? I want to make sure I have my salt, some pepper. Then I'm taking dry thyme. If we were making a marinade, we could go ahead and take fresh thyme and pull the petals off and chop it up for a marinade. But for a dry rub, we're going to use dried thyme. Then I have harissa. This is an African spice. Then I have cumin. I'm going to throw that in there. Now again, you're watching me just eyeball this, right? So the recipe gives you the exact measurements. Get your teaspoons out, get your measuring spoons out, and do it exactly what it says there. But for us, we are going to eyeball it, because that's what we do as chefs. We know exactly what we're putting in there. So the dry rub is going to be absorbed, it's going to be rubbed onto the chicken. And it would be good for you to be able to let it marinate or let it be coated on your chicken. Again, if you want to do it for a few hours. Oh, hear that sound, John? You hear that sear? John, you hear that sear, Chef Corey? With that sear? Look at that. Woo! Look at that. I love that sound. That's love right there, baby. All right, I think we're going to smoke Linda's house completely up.
That's okay.
So, back to the rubs and the marinade. So, as Corey explained earlier, we want to make sure that the marinade and the acidity that's in the marinade, that you're not allowing the protein be in it too long. Chicken and beef, you could definitely do longer than seafood. When it comes to the dry rub, the important thing about the dry rub is you want to make sure that the salt is incorporated into the dry rub. Why? Because I'm putting it on the protein. The moisture that's in the protein is going to be pulled out by the salt. And when it gets pulled out, the moisture is going to get captured by all of the flavor that's in the seasonings. And then what's going to happen is the moisture is going to get sucked back into the protein, so it's into the flesh of the chicken, beef, pork, whatever you're using. So if you let it sit long enough, because of the salt, and it's going to absorb, it's going to pull that moisture out, then the moisture is going to get sucked back into the protein that you're putting the dry rub on. Your food is going to be very flavorful. You're going to have a nice, solid flavor consistent throughout your whole product. So here we are. We got my dry rub going. Yes, question?
Erica said, great point bubbles, smiley face. Chef Steve and Corey, you should contact Open Sesame or Tipsy and see if you can get these lessons into their catalog.
Okay, all right, that's cool. So I already have some marinade. Thank you very much, and that is a great suggestion. Corey knows that stuff better than I do, so I'm gonna have Chef Corey tackle that task. So I already have some. If you bring in the camera closer, do you see how moist the chicken is? The reason why it's so moist, the chicken, the chicken breast itself is not that moist. Look at it right there. But then look at it with the dry rub. That is because the salt has pulled the moisture out of the chicken. And the longer I let it sit, now what's going to happen is the moisture is going to get sucked back into the chicken, and there's going to be flavor through every bite that you have of the chicken. You're going to taste the flavor. So I already have some marinated here. Now, we're going to go ahead and skewer the mushroom cap that I have right here with my chicken. Now, when you're doing an hors d'oeuvre party, or you're trying to be fancy with your guests, your family, you're saying, I'm going to show off, I'm going to show them. One of the ways you can show off is a food presentation. People eat with their eyes first. So when it looks awesome, they're ready to eat and they're excited. What's going to happen is they're going to be so excited about eating what you provided that when they're looking at it, they're like, yes. Then when they taste your wonderful flavors you combine together with all of your spices that you put into your dry rub for your chicken, they're going to look at it and they're going to be like, oh my God. So what we want to do is we want to make the skewer look consistent. I want to put a mushroom, chicken, mushroom, chicken, right? Or chicken, mushroom, chicken, mushroom. But you want to be consistent. So what I'm going to do is, here we go. Chicken, mushroom.
Corey asks, how long does it take for the marinade to absorb?
So this right here has been about an hour. So again, I'm using chicken. So the dry rub on the chicken for an hour is really, really good. If you want to go 2 hours, the more that dry rub is sitting on your protein, the more it's going to be absorbed into the chicken. So again, it's to your preference. Test and try. Go for an hour, taste and see how it is. Go for 3 hours, taste and see how it is. But also pay attention when you do a marinade, the acid can start cooking your product, especially seafood. So you have to, the recipe, I believe, that we have online, I think says for a half hour, 45 minutes. Start with that, and then again, when you make it again, go for an hour and a half. It's up to you. It's what you want to do. We give you basic information. The recipes we offer are basic, foundational. Then moving from there, you can always increase it. For instance, you might want to add more cayenne to your dry rub. That's fine, because you might like it spicy. I'm okay with that. I don't want to be so spicy.
You got a weak stomach?
Huh?
You got a weak stomach?
Now my camera person's trying to clown me. Really? But I love you though.
Can't take the heat, get out the kitchen, foreman.
Nice. See what I got to deal with? So here we are. So now I have mine that I did. And so if you see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve this over some rice real quick. But what I did was I cooked it, put it in the oven for 350 degrees for about maybe 12 to 15 minutes, and it comes out perfect. Corey just seared his, and what he did was he seared it and then he put it back into the oven, so he's going to let that cook for a little bit. So again, the key to doing all of this is to making sure that you're using the right ingredients. You're making sure that the ingredients you're using are fresh. Paying attention to the technique, which is a brochette or a skewer. When you want to present it, you want to be consistent. So again, I'm going to make another one. I'm going to do, again, chicken, right? Mushroom. Chicken. And then mushroom. And so this evening, the ladies are going to enjoy a meal of either the shrimp brochette or the chicken brochette. We made some rice, so you can accompany your brochette with rice, but we also made a salad. So you can simply put the brochette over the salad. So that way you have a nice protein, either shrimp or chicken, serving with your greens and all of the other vegetables. Now, don't be shy with vegetables, people. Listen, this is the time of vegetable season, right? I mean, we're going into the summer, into the harvest season. We have zucchini.
You're going a little shy though. Mushroom?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the variety. Wow. This guy I can accept, but the camera woman? Yo.
I feel we're bonding.
Really. Nice. My wife and Corey are bonding.
I also have a
breakthrough.
recommendation too of I would marinate my mushrooms in like a balsamic
Yep.
vinegar or Italian dressing. I don't know if Chef Steve touched on that, but you can marinate your vegetables so they just add a little bit more flavor. We can take them to Flavor Town, right, Chef?
Flavor Town.
We have a question. Can it go on the grill?
Absolutely. So as Chef Corey was saying earlier, the reason why we soak the skewer in water is because when you put it on a grill, the flame will flare up. And of course, this being wood, right, it's going to catch on fire. But because you soaked it in water, you prevent it from burning up like that. Will it still burn a little bit? Yes, but it won't torch up like if it was just a dry stick going onto the grill. So yes, you can.
And you
grill
want them
it.
soaked in water for a minimum of 25, 30 minutes.
You really want it to be saturated. So back to the vegetables, I just want to touch on that. We can do vegetable brochettes. One of the things I could have done was I could have taken my mushrooms, as Corey said, and marinated them. I could have tossed them in a teriyaki sauce, right? Had them soaking in a teriyaki sauce, skewering the mushrooms and skewering the peppers in that teriyaki, then put it on the skewer, grilling it so that grill is giving it a nice smoke. And the reason why I used portobello mushrooms, one time we had a question, how does chefs pair things? Well, when we understand the flavor profile of the ingredient, for instance, portobello mushrooms, a little bit more smoky, a little bit more earthy because of the makeup of the portobello mushroom. So because it has that kind of flavor profile, smoky and earthy, and with a dry rub and with chicken, it's going to pair nicely. Now, could I use mushrooms with shrimp?
Yeah.
Sure I could. Absolutely. But I would prefer to use lighter vegetables with a lighter protein, where I'm using a heavier, earthy type vegetable with my denser chicken. So that's how we kind of like pair it. But again, be creative. You know, let's talk about onions real quick. That was something I wanted to get into as well.
Oh, yeah.
Real quickly. No, it's
I was
okay.
supposed to talk about the onions.
It's all good. It's all good.
Before Chef Steve actually talks about onion, fun fact about red pepper. 1 cup of red pepper has 3 times as much vitamin C as 1 orange does.
Wow. That guy is a walking almanac. He's amazing. Isn't he great? No, that's good info. That's real good info.
You get out of my way.
Chef Corey, could you put that in the oven for me while I take care of this onion?
Love to.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, you guys are so nice to each other.
All right, so an onion.
You ready in
I do have a
45
question.
minutes?
Question, awesome. What's going on?
Why would you use the red onion versus a white onion?
Perfect. That's exactly what I was about to get into. So, the flavor, their onions range. We could talk all day about that. Onions range a lot. The reason why onions are chosen is based on how pungent they are, like how they bite. When you bite into a raw onion, you know, they have that strong bite. That strong bite comes from the amount of sulfur that's in the soil the onion has been grown in. So if it's heavy sulfur, it's going to be heavy into your onion, and that's where you're getting that bite from, okay? So it also has sweeteners in it. There's some of the onions are sweeter. They have a sweet onion, which is definitely going to be a little bit sweeter. Now, naturally, whenever you saute or you cook an onion, that sulfur, that pungent bite is removed when you cook it down. But you can also do a trick to remove the bite of the onion, and that is by, I'm going to peel this onion real quick. And these are really good tips, and that's a great question about the onion. So this purple onion, okay, is going to have a little bit of a bite to it. It's definitely it definitely has a louder bark than a Vidalia onion. A Vidalia onion is definitely sweeter, less mild, doesn't have so much of a bite. And your yellow onions are a little bit stronger than your Vidalia, okay? So when you go to shop in the stores, typically you have the yellow onions, you have the Spanish onions, you have the Vidalia onions, and you have your red onions. The sweetest one is going to be the Vidalia. They are also a little bit more expensive. But that's okay, it's not a lot, you know, if you're choosing to...
Go to self-checkout and type in the cheapest onions.
Oh, boy.
That...
What are we
strike that from the
promoting here?
record. We are not telling people how to be dishonest, are we, Chef Corey? No, we're not. Be honest, people, thank you. So anyways, to remove the bite from the... can I have some water?
How much you need?
So I can soak this.
Yeah.
So what you'll do is, you can take your onion, after you peel it, you're going to put it in cold water. Now, also, the colder the better, but that's okay. We're going to use cold water here. And I'm going to take my onion, and I'm going to let it soak in the water. So what's going to happen is it's going to leach out the moisture in the onion is going to leach out a little bit, so it's going to be less pungent. So you're going to be able to use it afterwards, let it drain, use it in a salad, and it won't be as sharp when you taste a raw onion. So that's a simple trick that you can do, and you can do that very simply by doing that 15-20 minutes before you go to dice it up, slice it up, whatever you're going to do to put it into your salad. You can do that. But again, the onions are based
Just
on...
with that one?
Huh?
Just with that type of onion?
Any onion.
Okay.
Does that help with, sometimes onions give me all teary-eyed?
So yes, you can also do that, yes. Because again, it's the sulfur. It's the sulfur that's in the soil the onion has been cooked in that's been absorbed into the fruit or the vegetable, the meat of the vegetable. And so when you can't smell anything. Like right now, when I have the skin on it, you can't smell anything, right? And it's just like any vegetable. You have to bruise it. You have to damage it first before it releases its fragrance. It releases its natural juices. It releases everything. So then once you peel it like I just did, instantly you now smell the aroma. And instantly the vapors get into your eyes, right? You might start crying. By putting it in water, it minimizes that. But also putting it in water takes that bite out of the onion, so you can drain it, slice it, toss it into your salad, use it as a cold whatever, or after you saute it, again, natural sweeteners that are in the onions. There's sucrose, sorry. Basically sugars that are in food. There's a high concentration of that in onions. So when it sweats down, it's releasing that, and that's why they taste sweeter. So that's really something simple that you can do to make it easier in dealing with onions. Now also, when I peel my onion, last tip I'm going to share with you, we always save our trimmings. It's so important that you get all of the value out of your vegetables. So I save my trimmings. I put it in a Ziploc bag, just like this. Squeeze all the air out, zip it up, fold it, and I'm going to toss it right into her freezer. And now I have something to use when I want to make a vegetable stock. And that vegetable stock I can turn into a nice light soup. Or I can use it to add to my cooked, when I make rice, I can use, instead of water or chicken stock, I can use my vegetable stock as my broth to cook my risotto, to cook my farro, to cook my rice, my wild rice, whatever I'm cooking that uses broth, I can use that. So those are simple tips that you can use. So I think we're almost ready, Chef Corey, yes? How's our food cooking?
Shrimps, your chicken's got maybe another half an hour.
No, give me the one that's already cooked. Yep. So we're gonna assemble real quick.
Carol says, chefs, I have a private helicopter. Can you fly to Brooklyn?
I will not fly in helicopters since Kobe Bryant passed away.
Oh, he's got a phobia now. Okay. All right. So listen. So here we go. We got rice. So we're gonna put.
Nikki says, "Hey guys, miss seeing you."
Who?
Nikki Jean.
Hello, Nikki. How are you?
Hey.
There we go.
It's a new fan.
Horrible.
All right. So go ahead, Corey. Put the chicken on here.
Chicken?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
The one that's already cooked.
Behind the scenes.
Do you want some popcorn?
And we're gonna put the. Yep. So something very simple, very light, something very flavorful that we're going to use with rice. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our salad out.
So with this dish, we don't need a sauce to drizzle?
No, the dry rub is the flavor. But listen, you can do whatever you want. We're showing you the basic foundations. I know at my house, my kids are going to bust out either ranch dressing. Why? I don't know. My wife is going to grab the hot sauce. I don't know why. You know, somebody might take a balsamic vinaigrette or something. But you can use any of that to add to that. Or you can just simply enjoy the fresh flavor of the dry rub in the chicken that's cooked and it's nice and moist with the nice moist mushroom and with the wonderfully flavored rice. All together is a wonderful way to enjoy the meal. And then Chef Corey is making wild rice, and he has this shrimp brochette, but also he could have put it on this wonderful salad that we made as well. So there's different ways of just simply making something so easy. And what we did with the salad is we tossed it with basil, chiffonade, lemon zest. We had cucumbers, carrots, red onion, tomato, and a nice mixed field greens.
I have 2 questions.
2 questions. Go ahead.
If grilling different proteins at the same time, do you have to cook some longer?
Yes.
Yes. So let's take, for instance, I have a gas grill, or let's just say a char grill, right? Charcoal grill. What I do at my house is I make sure that there's different levels where the grill and the coals are, right? There's one area of the coals that's stacked higher, so it's close to the grill to really get it hot. Then there's a low spot that makes it less hot, so it's a slower cooking side of the grill. So if I'm grilling shrimp, I'm going to put it on that hot side and move it over. If I grill chicken, I'm going to grill the chicken and I'm going to move it over. But I would put the chicken on first because I know it's going to take longer. Why? Because it's a denser protein and shrimp cooks a lot faster. If I have steak, again, I'm going to put that on the hot side, get my sear, then I'm going to move it to the low side. Look at that. Beautiful.
Look at that.
Colors.
Look at that table.
All of the flavorful colors. Look at all the colors and everything that's going with that, huh?
Beautiful.
That's wonderful.
And look how simple we did
Yummy.
this.
So
easy, right?
Yeah.
You definitely make it.
You got 2 questions, didn't you? What's the second question? So the first question was about the grill, so that's what you would do. Again, wanting to move the food over to the low heat end, so it finishes cooking on that side. And if you have a gas grill, of course, you can regulate a lot easier because you have the gauges. Yep.
Okay, John asks.
Oh boy, John asked.
Don't onion peels make stock oily?
So John, I've never heard that. I'll be honest with you, I've never heard that.
I haven't either.
John is my man. I love this dude. He's a wonderful chef. He's very, very talented. But that question I'm not too sure about. I don't know where you're getting the oils from the skin.
No.
You'll have to tell me more about that. And I got 4 ladies over here that are saying no. They said no, John.
She's been around for a few years cooking.
She said no. She has some experience behind her.
That's
so.
right. But I mean, it's a good question, but I've never heard that. I know what will make it oily is simply the proteins. Like if I'm using chicken bones, if I'm using beef bones, we know that's going to add the oils and make it oily. But I've never seen skins make oil. So, any other questions? So listen. Again,
Do you deliver?
Huh?
Do you deliver?
We would love to deliver. Chef Corey and I would love to be able to open up a franchise.
Baby steps.
We're making all this food and be able to deliver to all of you guys out there. But our goal, here is our goal. You got another question?
There's a question. Can you do a live on how to make stock? I think you can direct them to your own.
Absolutely. We will do a live one, yes.
Okay.
And Corey and I have plans of doing some more live ones outside of the Thursday, just to increase the visibility of making it very simple to cook in your own home. And that's our goal, is that we're not here to try to make gourmet meals. I mean, we could do that. We do gourmet meals at our at the arena where we work, and we have very high-end parties that we have to cook for millionaires, and we make great food. But we're not here for that. What we're here for is for you, the common person, when they look into your refrigerator or into your cupboard and you ask yourself, what should I do? We want to show you simple techniques, simple tips to make great food in your house for yourself, for your family, or for your friends. And that's what we're all about. So these are the reasons why we're doing these simple cooking demonstrations, how to cut, what vegetables you use, little simple tips. That's all this is about. In the future, we're going to increase this, but for right now, as Corey said, we're doing baby steps. But our whole goal is to empower people to enjoy cooking in their own kitchen. And this is why we've decided to start doing these cooking classes in other people's homes. So if you're interested in having us come to your house and do a live Facebook cooking demonstration through your kitchen, we would be more than happy to do that. Go ahead and message me or send me something on my Facebook, whatever you want to do, but we'll be more than happy to do it for you. We cook for 4 people for free. You don't have to pay anything. We're just demonstrating through your kitchen and letting you enjoy the food we prepare for up to 4 people. So,
Okay, Corey Green has a question. What's the one knife you recommend for the kitchen?
awesome. What's up, Corey? That's my old college roommate. What's up, buddy?
Excellent.
Thank you for watching. So, I'll be honest with you. So, the knife itself is based on the steel, okay? So, a chef knife, paring knife, utility knife, you should have a chef knife, okay? But what makes the knife is the steel. Japanese steel and German steel are the best. Actually, Japanese steel is the best, but because it's so brittle, it breaks easy.
Chips.
Yeah, it chips. So German knives have very, very good carbon steel, and they're durable enough to where they don't chip as easy as a Japanese knife would be. So I would get a chef knife. Please buy one that is at least $80 or $90. It's worth it.
I recommend Wusthof.
Yeah, German steel. Wusthof or Henkel, they're both German.
What stores
but
where you get
Wusthof
that
is
from?
good. Go on. I would go to Amazon.
Amazon, is he local? Or is
No, he's in Long Island.
Yeah, Amazon, what's the Williams-Sonoma? That's
Williams-Sonoma,
yeah.
yep.
Bed Bath & Beyond. You
You
can.
can, but be careful with Bed Bath & Beyond. Be careful of Target, because I've seen Henkel's in there, but you don't know where they're really coming from. It could be a knockoff, and I don't want that. Go to Amazon, or go to Williams-Sonoma, or go to your local butcher and ask them where they get their knives from. They might be able to help you as well, locally, where you could source your chef knife locally. Don't buy a cheap chef knife. Please don't do it. The reason why it doesn't hold an edge well, and you're going to be fussing with it, the steel is not going to be strong enough for you to grip it and work properly so that the knife can do the work that you want it to do. So, ladies, what do y'all think?
Delicious.
Look, huh?
So delicious.
You enjoying everything?
Very
Flavorful?
good. Yeah.
Very flavorful.
Very good.
They sound like they're bribed. That's why.
It's very good.
So, again, this is the whole goal. We appreciate every one of you that has watched us this evening. Again, if you have a question, go ahead and ask it, or you can ask it later. But yes, there's a question.
I have to pan down to Corey's sneakers.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Pan
I
down
got
to
the
sneakers.
Nike ID Kobe Bryant's on. Snake skin.
Anyways, sneakers don't make the kitchen, okay, people?
But they make you feel good.
Yeah, okay, I respect that. What's the question?
Let's see.
Man, you
Okay.
guys are just enjoying them. I want to eat.
Sweet potato hash
John-
toast jag.
Oh yeah, who won too? But I want to know what John
I don't
said.
think
I think it was Corey. I think Corey won.
Wow, yeah. 3-0.
Okay, John asks, can you do a live on how to utilize lobster scraps?
John, I want to break down a lobster. I want to show them how to break down a lobster efficiently, how to get all of the meat out of all of the shell. I want to talk about how to utilize all the parts of the different lobster. For instance, I would use the knuckle for one thing versus the tail for something else. I want to show them how to make a stock from the shell. So I'm definitely going to do all of that. I definitely will. And I'll be more than happy to demonstrate that for you, John, out at your restaurant if you need me to come and show your boys how to break down a lobster
When
properly.
you go for your CEC, John, he's a pro at the lobster breakdown.
I would love you, John. We have a lot of chef friends that are watching right now, and they like to banter with us, which we love. We love you guys out there. Shout out to our crew at KeyBank Center. Guy, I'm not sure who else is watching. Sean, I don't know if Boris, if you're watching. Mary.
Michelle Acosta says, when can we come back to work?
Yeah, Michelle, she's one of our supervisors. She's awesome.
When
Great
phase
pastry
4 is
chef.
open.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Somebody asked, no fabware knives?
No.
Fiberware?
No, throw them out. That's trash. Thank you.
Okay.
That's right up there with being able to throw
I'm
spaghetti
sorry.
against the wall.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you own a pair of those knives, but they're trash. Okay, that's not good
Oh,
stuff.
there you go. Here you go. We got the pepper
What's going on
grinder.
over here?
We got a pepper grinder.
We're grinding. We're grinding.
John says, Texas Todd has bag full of shuns. Never saw him use them, but he had them. I don't know. Is that-
Todd, he said Todd.
Todd,
Yes.
sounds
Yeah,
about right.
I know his former executive chef.
Okay.
Hysterical. So, anyways, we're gonna close out here. Again, we just want to thank Linda for allowing us to use her kitchen today. Her family,
Yes,
her family
thank
out here and
you.
everything. Thank Corey for being with me today, Chef Corey. We appreciate him.
I'm going nowhere, people.
And also, I appreciate our camera person. She's been wonderful through it all.
Happy anniversary for me.
Oh yeah, my wife and I celebrated 20 years yesterday.
Poor woman.
Thank you.
But until next
I do
Thursday.
have one more question.
Okay.
Do you do baking also? Cakes, pies, and frostings?
So we're eventually going to get there.
Is that Michelle?
No, this is King Tolliver.
Okay, so we're gonna get there. We just want to make sure that we're just trying to do simple stuff. The baking section is coming down the
Fall,
line.
winter. It's
Yeah.
a little hot right now.
But we can still do like mousses. I did do a mousse a few weeks back. If you scroll on my page, I did do a mousse. I showed them how to make a very nice, simple mousse. So we did do that. So we could do parfaits and things of that nature. We don't want to do too much baking going into the hot months. We're going to try and go outside, do some grilling. We're going to just try and do some cold items in here. You know, a little cooking, but not too much to heat up the kitchen. Because again, we want to show you how to be easy, how to make it simple but flavorful, and be mindful of our climate, be mindful of seasonal foods, being mindful of what we have in our cupboards, what we have in our refrigerator, and to make it easy for you guys that are out there watching us. So until next Thursday, we appreciate you watching. Share this with all your friends. We're trying to increase our view. We want to, if you like what you saw, give us a message. Let us know what you like. Give us some ideas. And again, if you would like for us to use your home, for us to do our cooking demonstration through, reach out to us. We'd be happy to do it.
Slide in those DMs.
Like a water park.
Yeah, don't.
So thank you very much. We appreciate it. You all have a great evening. Take care.
Stay safe, everyone.
Yes.